Welcome back. A lot has been happening in the Nigerian space in the past couple of months. We've had issues, what appears like a renewing of attacks on Nigerians by the insurgents in the northeast. And of course, we also have issues with the petroleum issues. There's been a whole lot of things happening in this country. And so we are going to be looking into the state of the nation. How can we move forward? How can we make our nation better? We have in the studio here a legal practitioner who is also a maritime consultant, Mr. Daniel Abdullahi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Also another legal practitioner, Mr. Fred Nzako. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so
And
much.
from our Abuja studios, we have Mr. Osita Ikechukwu, APC chieftain.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let me start with you since we are in Abuja right now. What's your take on what has been happening in the Nigerian space?
Let me start by saying that Nigerian people will not be disappointed with the regime of President Muhammad Buhari. That is Muhammad Buhari yesterday, Muhammad Buhari today, and Muhammad Buhari tomorrow. A lot of people had said, yes, it's not moving as fast as they want. Accepted. But there's a feedback mechanism that allows Mr. President to monitor the pulse of the Nigerian people. And when we confronted him, we said, look, there are complaints of not composing the ministers, not doing this, not doing that. He said no. That the Nigerian people should hold him responsible if he fails to deliver the pledges he made to the Nigerian people in terms of the pursuit of returning Nigeria to security climate, of fighting corruption, of providing jobs to millions of Nigerian youths and some other people who are either underemployed or not employed, and fixing the fiscal infrastructures. And when we queried further, he said, look, if you go to chapter 5, section 5 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that section vested the executive powers of Mr. President and said that Mr. President can exercise the executive powers directly, 1, 2, through the vice president and the ministers, 3, through officers of the public service of the Federation. And Mr. President said, yes, we agreed that the system was highly corrupt while we were campaigning. But the date on the 11th of June when he got the papers from the transition committee that emanated from the former government, he discovered that virtually the Nigerian treasury was empty. And when you meet almost an empty treasury, you are bound to have problems. So we asked what then happens. He said, look, he had decided first and foremost to work with the Nigerians he met on the ground, that those permanent secretaries are in a better position to brief him. The service chiefs are in a better position to brief him because he is a system person. He believes that the Nigerian people have taken time to train some of these people, have taken time to update them, and they have also gathered their own experiences. So he did not want to act on hearsay. He wanted to have a detailed meetings, interactions with these officials before he can compose the cabinet. And he said, if he cuts them off, Nigerians will be the losers because the information he could have gathered from them, the knowledge he could have gathered from them, and their own experiences that could have been very helpful in trying to return to a steady course where now he had also said, okay, all that have been missing can be traced to the fact that there were a lot of accounts opened on behalf of the federal government. Okay. That there should be one single federation account where all the monies that are accrued to the federation will be paid for into either by the NMPC, the Federal Inland Revenue, the Customs Service, etc. So
Mr.
that had
Ikechukwu.
not been the case. People had become emperors in different kingdoms, managing their own account as they want. So these are not the issues that Nigerian people can see in a jiffy. He had also done so well in terms of getting to the roots of the insurgency in the Northeast.
Okay, now that you have touched on the issue of insurgency, I'm very sure that part of the reasons maybe Nigerians voted for the president is on the strength of his campaign that is going to tackle the issue of the Boko Haram and all of the insecurity. But it would seem like there is a renewing of attacks on innocent Nigerians, and it would seem like things are going back to the way they were before he came into power.
I do not think so, actually. The point is that no Nigerian expected that insurgency will be wiped off in a day or a month. Nobody will expect that. President Muhammad Buhari has a 48-month mandate of the Nigerian people. He had barely spent a month plus few days. If you go by simple arithmetic, it's about 2.08%. So it would be good that the Nigerian people should not act like they say in our local primary school, like the rodents. They have been inside a hole for 16 good years. And immediately, somebody who had the political will, the strength, and the commitment to dig up the rodent out of the hole, came with the hole. The rodent starts saying, I'm being squeezed, I'm so heated up. Do it fast, do it fast.
Okay, let's just come back to the studio.
Mr. Okechukwu, we'll come back to you. Mr. Daniel.
Okay, thanks. Okay.
He's talked about the president's decision to work with those on ground. And that covers every aspect of the Nigerian society, security-wise, administrative-wise, the financial side as well. Also, that covers also the economy and the legal side as well. But what do you think? Is that what Nigerians were looking forward to? I mean, that's not the norm. Usually, as the president comes in or a new administration starts off, immediately they hit the ground, as someone says. Nigerians are still waiting for the running. They've hit the ground, they're still waiting for the running. Do you think that's the right situation?
Yeah, I think the president is trying to study the situation. What he met probably is far different from what he expected. But I think he needs to be fast on the issue of insurgency. If you look at the history of insurgency, once they try to come back the way they are doing right now, if you don't check them immediately, they will do something big, something fatal. They want to let the government, they want to get the attention of the federal government now. Because I don't think the crisis in the security cycle, particularly the state security, could be negatively exploited by Boko Haram. I think the president needs to do something faster on the issues of security, particularly as it has to do with Boko Haram. I believe that even though we are using the pre-existing service chiefs and all that, we need to work on the intelligence. I discovered that the various security services are trying to undo themselves by not sharing secure intelligence. What I mean, these people, they plan this thing in a particular place, they proceed to go and implement their plans. So people are aware, people see them. They should be able to get information on time. And I think the issue of state security should be quickly resolved now. That's my